Planning your first visit to Paris? If so, start with these top 10 attractions and legendary sightseeing destinations. These are the historical, cultural, and famous places everyone associates with Paris. Don't feel you need to visit all of them in one visit, especially you are here for just a few days. Several, such as the soaring Eiffel Tower, the gorgeous Seine River, the monumental Arc de Triomphe, and even the gleaming white Sacré-Cœur set high on a hilltop, are part of the Paris skyline and easy to spot from many places in the city, whether or not you actually visit. But do take time to stroll through an iconic neighborhood such as the Latin Quarter or Montmartre. Relax in the beautiful Luxembourg Garden. Take a sunset cruise along the Seine. Spend a few moments admiring the M Notre Dame, entrance is free, and admire the stunning stained glass. The south and north rose windows date back to the 13th century. And plan a visit to at least one of the most famous Paris museums and experience their masterpieces in person. See the Mona Lisa and Venus de Milo at the Louvre, Van Gogh's Starry Night at the Orsay, or cutting-edge contemporary art at Pompidou. Finally, save some time to see other less famous and even hidden attractions in Paris, even if it means skipping some of the places on this page. You can always visit on your next trip to Paris, and meanwhile, you'll have a variety of wonderful memories. Because as Ernest Hemingway famously said, "Wherever you go for the rest of your life it stays with you, for Paris is a movable feast." 1. Eiffel Tower. Soaring high above the Paris landscape, the Eiffel Tower symbolizes Paris, and gives you spectacular city views from 3 levels. Although you can see the famous landmark from many points in the city, nothing beats the thrill of going up to the observation platforms and watching the Paris landscape get smaller and smaller below you. More to enjoy: restaurants and a champagne bar, a seasonal ice skating rink, great views through the transparent floor on the first level. Paris discovery tip: crowds at the Eiffel Tower can be massive and waiting in line to get tickets can take up to 4 hours or more during peak months, but if you plan in advance, you can breeze right in. 2. Louvre Museum. The enormous Louvre Museum receives over 10 million visitors a year, making it the world's most visited museum and a top attraction in the part of the first arrondissement known as Royal Paris. Much of this popularity stems from the Louvre's 3 uber-famous masterworks, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa and 2 famous Greek statues, Venus de Milo and the Winged Victory of Samothrace, also known as the Winged Nike, yes, the inspiration for the popular athletic shoe brand. But the Louvre offers you so much more to see, including a magnificent Egyptian collection complete with mummies, gallery after gallery of European paintings from the Middle Ages to the mid-19th century, and dazzling rooms of exquisite furniture, tapestries, and ornamental objects. Outside, 20th-century glass pyramids by Im van der reflecting pool contrast with the ornate Renaissance architecture of the former royal palace. More to enjoy: at basement level, you can view excavations of the original 12th century fortress that once stood in the Louvre's Paris location. Paris discovery tip: due to massive crowds of visitors, you'll need a strategy to get the most out of your visit to this museum, but don't worry, you have excellent options ranging from book-ahead priority tickets to guided tours. With more than 700 rooms, Versailles is one of the largest palaces in the world. Famous for its royal occupants from King Louis XIV to Marie Antoinette, the glittering Hall of Mirrors, lavishly decorated rooms, and priceless art, Versailles Palace gives you an unforgettable glimpse of royal life when you visit. You can easily spend much or all of a day here. More to enjoy: magnificent gardens filled with statues, fountains, flowers, tree alleys, and walking paths. Paris discovery tip: Versailles attracts huge numbers of visitors, and slow security check lines before you enter mean a 2 to 4 hour wait in line during most months of the year. Skip the line: tickets and attractions passes won't save you, you still have to go through security. So here's our insider's tip and strong recommendation: choose a guided tour if you want to save time. Why? Guided tours get to access a separate, much faster security line. Choose one of these excellent guided tours and avoid the long wait in line. Ultimate Versailles. Skip the line guided tour. For this 90-minute tour, your guide whisks you through the priority access security line and shows you all of the palace's most important rooms and sights. After the tour, explore as long as you want on your own. Versailles by train escorted tour from Paris with skip the line tickets. A guide meets you at a designated spot in Paris, escorts you on the RER train to Versailles, and takes you through the guided tour entrance so you don't have to wait in the long lines. You can choose either a guided 75-minute tour or an audio guide. Spend as much time after the tour as you like in Versailles and the Garden, and return to Paris on your own. There's also a similar guided tour in the afternoon with air-conditioned round-trip coach transportation. Full-day guided tour of Versailles with lunch. You'll travel with a guide in an air-conditioned luxury coach from Paris to Versailles, where you'll quickly pass through the guided tour security. In addition to giving you a tour of Versailles Palace and its most important rooms, your guide will also take you through the Grand and Petit Trianon, the two smaller castles the French royalty usually preferred to spend their time. You'll have a wonderful lunch at an on-site restaurant, and will have plenty of time to stroll through the magnificent gardens. 4. Latin Quarter. To experience an older Paris, spend some time discovering the charms of the Latin Quarter. First settled by Romans in the 1st century, this famous left bank neighborhood has long attracted bohemians, scholars, and political protest. Have a drink at the brasseries along with Boulevard Saint-Germain where Hemingway, Sartre, and Camus hung out during the 1920s, visit the tombs of French heroes and intellectuals at the Pantheon, and gaze at the timeless beauty of Lady and the Unicorn tapestries at the Cluny Museum. More to enjoy. Explore the narrow winding side streets filled with old bookstores, tiny bistros, and quirky boutiques. Visit the beautiful old churches filled with artistic treasures, including Saint Julien Le Pauvre, dating back to the Middle Ages. Go back even farther in time and visit a 1st century Roman arena, one of the Latin Quarter's hidden treasures. Paris discovery tip: unless you love huge crowds, avoid pedestrian-only Rue de la Huchette. 5. Seine River, beaches, cruises, and more. The Seine River flows through central Paris, defining the city's right bank to the north and the left bank on the south. Ile de la Cité, one of two small islands in the middle, is the historic heart of Paris with world-famous medieval masterpieces, hidden parks, and lovely 17th-century enclaves. You can enjoy the Seine in many different ways. Walk along the banks and admire the beautiful bridges. Check out Les Bouquinistes, the riverside booksellers along both sides of the Seine. Explore the Parc Rives de Seine, the riverside pedestrian-only promenade from Place de la Bastille to the Eiffel Tower. Cruise up and down the river on a tour boat to see Paris's most beautiful historic buildings and bridges from a unique perspective. Dine and dance on a riverside barge. Cool off in a floating swimming pool. Visit Les Berges, the recreational area along the river on the left bank. It especially comes alive in the summer. More to enjoy. From mid-July to mid-August, Paris Plages transforms the right bank plus other parts of the city into a sandy beach. Paris discovery tip: from the Seine, cruise up through the 15th century Canal Saint-Martin and Canal de l'Ourcq through the newly trendy northeast part of the city.